Thank you all. Hey guys, Quincy here, and welcome to my Q&A. Now, if you remember, a few weeks ago I announced that this Q&A will be happening, and in preparation for it, I asked you guys to send in some questions for me to answer. I was shocked and amazed that I got so many questions from various protagonists. I highly appreciate every single plotter who made a contribution. Without you, this Q&A would have never happened. Here's how it will take place. Annabelle will read out the questions asked by the specific plotter, according to the username, and I'll provide answers to them. Alright, without further ado,
Wait. Before we start, I'd like you all to meet my new dog, Little Mutt.
Aww.
I know. Isn't he cute?
Oh yeah, Annabelle brought her dog. I guess Mittens wasn't enough for her.
Mittens actually never existed.
Let's just get started, okay? What's the first question?
After some intense thinking, the Plotagon Creeper asks, what was your first popular plot? And what was your first series?
Great questions, lad. I think I'll say my first popular plot was Part 2 of The Stubborn Spider. It was my first ever staff pick, which got over 600 views and about 33 likes with several comments. That was a big mark for me, as during that time my plots would get about 6 to 12 likes. But seeing that plot get 33 likes with such a high amount of views just blew my mind. I remember being filled with delight, and I hoped that more of my plots would gain that amount of attention, which eventually did happen. In fact, To Save a Crush is now currently my most popular plot, and is my 7th staff pick. Now, moving on to my first Plotagon series. My first ever series was Connor Gets Grounded. Guys, I have a confession to make. During my early days as a protagonist, I actually liked grounded plots. And as you can tell from the title, they were the inspiration behind the series. Don't get me wrong, nowadays I detest these kinds of videos. But, as someone just starting off plotting and learning how to write a series, I thought it would be a good idea to base the concept off something simple, like the Caillou plots. What I also like to say about Connor Gets Grounded is that unlike the Caillou plots where the story is basically character does something bad, gets noticed by parent, gets grounded for insert century number here, and wah wah wah, Connor Gets Grounded took a slightly different approach. While the episodes had similar narratives with the Caillou plots, I also explored the chemistry Connor had with the siblings and parents, tried different ways I could tell the individual stories of the episodes, had 2 protagonists guest star in episodes, experimented with humor, and also tried telling a story with the protagonist at the flip side of things in the finale. Not only did this make the series stand out, but it also helped me to develop my writing and see where it can take me. Annabelle, what's the next question?
SchoolX asks, do you like wearing hats? What's your opinion on commercials?
Well, to be honest, I'm not someone who wears hats often, but this top hat is pretty awesome. As for the second question, ads are annoying, like really annoying. But we could also say that they're useful, both for the advertisers and consumers, as they can let people be aware of the products and services, leading into what could be of benefit for them. In my opinion, the ads that are more important are the ones that create awareness of things that helps humanity, such as a call to help people suffering or to promote social justice. They're important because if we act on those ads, we can create small steps that can make a positive difference to our world. Wow, who knew something so pesky could have so much meaning behind it? Anyway, next question.
The next set of questions are from Emma, is. She asks, what is your real name? Little Mutt. No.
How fantastic! Now we won't know the answer to that question.
I'm so super sorry.
Annabelle, take that dog away. It's clearly being a nuisance here. I'll read the questions myself in the meantime.
Okay, Quincy.
Friggin' mutt! Oh well, let's just continue. Emma also asks, where are you from? I was born in Britain, but I have a Nigerian ethnicity. Do you like chocolate?
Oh my god! What on earth was that?
I don't know, but it seems to sound like the enigmatic mechanisms of the intergastrointestinal functions.
I had no idea my stomach could do that. Did that answer your question, Emma? Did you have good grades before? Well, for my National 5s, I got 3 A's, 2 B's, and a C. And for my Highers, I got 3 B's and 2 C's. These are Scottish qualifications, by the way, since I'm currently living in Scotland. And since I was happy with these grades, then I can say that, yes, I did gain some good grades during my time at high school. Which, if I must say, was hard work paid off. Golden Cat 35 asks, what are your hobbies? What is your favourite sport? And how did you find Plotagon? Apart from making plots, I like to read, listen to music, watch YouTube videos, draw, and cycle. Favourite sport, eh? I'll say table tennis, mainly for 2 reasons. The first being that it's a sport that I'm actually really good at. And the second is that there's something really satisfying about hitting a ball with a bat across a table. Especially when you smash. Now let's talk about how I discovered this legendary app. It was spring of 3 years ago. I was scrolling through the app store when I saw Plotagon as one of the top apps. It intrigued me. But I didn't want to download it since I thought it wasn't a proper animation app. You know, with all the techie stuff that professional animators use. However, during the summer of that year, I returned to the app store and decided to give the app a shot. And boy oh boy, that was a decision I most definitely do not regret making. Speaking about animation, this leads us to our next question, which is from teacher Muriel. She asks, have you decided what you want to go on studying? Why yes, I have indeed. At university, I am going to study the Computer Animation Arts Honours degree. I am hopeful that with this course, I can lay the foundation for my dream career, which is to work at the animation industry. It's exciting, yet nerve-wracking at the same time. But I am crossing my fingers that I will succeed at my studies and cope with university life. She also asks, what was the best thing that has happened to you this year? And what's your favourite place or city and why? I think the best thing that has happened to me this year so far has to be my friend's 18th birthday party. That night was a blast. I had so much fun hanging out with my friends and my crowd. Sorry about that. I was going to say something I didn't intend to. Anyway, it was just a great night with dancing, banter, a little bit of games, and socializing. Favorite place? I actually have no idea. Hey, no need to get all feisty. I can't decide a favorite place because I think every place on Earth has something special about them. Mother Nature has distributed different forms of beauty for each part of the world. The tropical areas, colder areas, mountainous areas, places with flat ground, places with a lot of wildlife, water, agriculture, etc. all have something to admire and behold. I'm a teeny weeny bit of a nature enthusiast, always have been. Angel asks, what would you do differently if you knew nobody will judge you? Okay Angel, here's my answer. One confession I have is that I'm someone who is a little bit sensitive and worries about others' judgments. I fear that people may not like my interests, creations, characteristics, and overall just me as a person. However, considering the question asked, and by acknowledging the fact that I am indeed accepted by people who are dear to me. That includes you, Angel. I would put that fear to a halt, and build my self-esteem by taking pride in what I do and in who I am. Although in all honesty, this is something that I'm ensuring I do every day, even if I am going to be judged. Thanks for the great question. That one really got me thinking. In addition, she also asks, where would you be right now if you could? London. I really wanted to see my relatives again. I haven't seen them in ages. And I'm talking 10 years. Dina Maraidi asks, what Arabic country do you want to visit, if you can? What has been your favorite subject? And what are my favorite animals? I've always wanted to visit the United Arab Emirates. My goodness, that nation is gorgeous. It is filled with beautiful scenery and majestic architecture. Some of the finest in the world, if I must say. And speaking of architecture, I've always wanted to see what the... Sorry if I don't pronounce this right. Burj Khalifa looks like. You know, the world's tallest building. My favorite subject has to be media studies, hands down. Oh, what is media studies, you may ask? It's basically a subject that deals with the study of film, television, newspapers, and magazines, all things media. I love the subject mainly for the film aspect. As you all know, I'm someone who loves storytelling and filmmaking, and getting to learn about it really does give me great joy. In fact, it has been through that subject that I was able to create an award-winning stop-motion film known as The Run. If you want to see it, I'll put a link to it in the description. My favorite animals include dolphins, elephants, and cats. I like dolphins because they are highly intelligent, beautiful, and I love the way they swim. I see elephants as gentle giants, and are very loving and caring animals. And cats are so cute and cuddly. Just seeing them makes me smile. Jackster2511 asks, what inspired you to join Plotagon? What are your thoughts on Toys R Us closing down for good? And if you could make a law in the world, what would it be? Well, Jack, my love for animation, film, and my impulse to create is the main reason why I'm a protagonist today. I really liked Toys R Us and it was a part of my childhood. It's a shame they faced bankruptcy and are officially ending business. However, things happen, and I guess we're gonna have to move on. Who knows, something great could come in the future. One thing though, man, I'm gonna miss Jeffrey. What law could I make? People of the world, I hereby decree that once a week you must tell a story. Stories play a very key part of our humanity. Our lives and the lives around us each has a story to tell. You can tell your story anyhow you like, using either traditional or digital methods. Heck, even both! You can tell it to your family, your friends, your colleagues, anyone, or even keep it as a personal treasure for yourself. It can be a fictional story, a non-fictional story. Whatever way, as long as you are bringing forth your story that would drive us humans forward and illuminate our world. I guess that'll do. Wait, what? Where's my hat? Ugh. First Annabelle's dog eats one of the questions, and now this? Let's just hope nothing else ridiculous happens. GuerrilaDaDa asks, what is your mission in life? I'm not quite sure at the moment. I guess my main goals presently are to be creative, follow my dreams, and to be good to the people who are close to me and around me. He also asks, have you ever experienced unconditional love? How and when? And how can you capture that feeling of unconditional love and share it with the world? I've experienced this love through my family and God. Let me explain for each. Family-wise, I have been living with my parents for 17 years of my life so far, and throughout this time, They have always been there for me through good and bad times, and constantly reminded me of how special I am to them. They never pick out and shame any part of me, no matter how I am or what I've done. To them, I am highly precious. The times where I've fallen, they've lifted me up. The times where I've been in need, they've been the capeless superheroes to give aid. Even the times where I'm joyful and positive, they came to express that joy and positivity with me. They really are my dear parents, and when the time comes to move on, they will have a strong place in my heart. Okay, at this point, I'm going to start mentioning Catholicism. If you are not fond of this religion or religion in general, skip to this time. I am a Catholic, always been till this point, who not only believes in God, but believes that he is a very loving father. Now I know that people feel God's love in different ways, but this is just a personal example for me. Quite a lot of times I do things that a Catholic shouldn't be doing, and I feel that by doing these things, I seriously hurt God. However, no matter what I do, he is always by my side, and he proves this to me through the sacrament of reconciliation. This is where I confess all of my wrongdoings to a priest, who is representing Jesus Christ, and after being given advice and reciting a prayer, I'm wiped clean of my sins and can start afresh. I believe that this shows God's abundant mercy, and is always willing to forgive me no matter what I've done and how many times I've done it. The sacrament of reconciliation is one of 7 sacraments in the Catholic Church. The remaining 6 are baptism, Holy Eucharist, confirmation, anointing of the sick, matrimony, and holy orders. You can find out more about these sacraments on trusted Catholic websites. EWTN and Catholic Online are some good examples. I believe I can capture the feeling of unconditional love by acknowledging the fact that my family and God love me and accept me for who I am, and to cherish the times they have shown true acts of love to me. How can I share it with the world? Well, I'll keep it simple. Ensure that I am kind, respectful, and tolerant to not only those who love me, but to all kinds of people I come across, even to those who choose to be nasty to me. Now I know, being nice to unkind people is significantly harder than showing the same niceness to those that treat you right, especially depending on how impactful their unkindness is to you. But trust me, it's better to tackle vice with virtue and not vice with vice. TinySkittles asks, are you in college? Nope, but as y'all know, I've just graduated from high school, and I'm about to start university. And now, the very mysterious plotter herself, the Masked Plotress asks, any famous idol you look up to? Yes, Sir Nelson Mandela. He definitely is an excellent example of what it is to be a great leader. A righteous man who set a goal for the common good of humanity, overcame trials in a truly wise and mature way, and by defeating the apartheid, he brought peace, joy, and stability to South Africa. Because of his good qualities and heroic acts, he is a brilliant role model for me and many others. She also asks for my favorite music and if I've got any siblings. Now I'm the kind of person that absolutely does not have a definite taste in music, but I think my taste is more geared towards hip-hop and electronic, especially house music. I have 3 siblings, a sister and 2 brothers. All of them are younger than me. Yep, I'm the oldest. If anyone's got any relatable older sibling memes, I would like some. Rozeheal asks, what gives you your inspiration and great sunny disposition in life? Ah, what a sweet question, Rose. There are many things to consider. My parents' teachings, the music I listen to, books I read, videos I watch, both famous and obscure quotes, and my personal beliefs all influence my perspectives and mindset. However, there's one thing that I have learned, and it's that the most buoyant person is the one with a positive outlook on life. It is because of this that I try every day to be grateful for my life, what I have been blessed with, and for each day that I live, no matter the circumstance. It is a challenge, a big one indeed, but it is one that I take to ensure that my spirits are consistently high, as optimism is the key to happiness. At least that's what I believe in anyway. She also asks, what 3 words describe you the best? Chippy754 asks for my YouTube name. It's Quincy, Da Animator. This channel. Here you'll find my series Connor Gets Grounded and Connor the Runaway and other animations. He also asks if I could teach him how to become a cool Plotagon person. You're in luck! Quincy and I put together a little something that should be helpful.
Hey, what's shaking you? So, you wanna be a dope plotter? Well, guys and girls, I'ma show you how. Make plots that engage your audience with lit stories and characters damn people will love. Though some of you may ask, I don't have da inspiration. If you have no inspiration, don't worry. Take da time out and da inspiration will come. Plotting ain't no mandatory duty. Follow great plotters, especially ones you like. Shoot. I knew I shouldn't have come here. See a plot you like? Show your support by pressing that love heart and giving it a comment. Remember, be nice. Do this for any lit plot you come across and the makers will surely appreciate your kindness. In short, be creative and kind, and you will become a cool plotagonist indeed. Boy, I'm glad that's over. I mean, the clothing isn't too bad. But that dialect was just real cringy.
Hope you liked it. And last, but most definitely not the least, in fact it's a very fitting last question if you ask me. Livelightning asks, is this your favorite app? Heck yeah! As I stated earlier, I love to be creative and had always had an urge to make films. For years, I longed for an app that would give me the opportunity to create animated stories with ease, and for my creations to get a real audience. Plotagon went above and beyond my expectations. With the app, not only have I made lots of films, but I've been able to stretch my creativity and further my understanding as to what makes a good story. Not only that, but it has been through Plotagon that I was able to meet genuinely really talented and lovely people, as Plotagon has one of the best communities that is to ever exist. To the awesome people who work at Plotagon, once again, I give you my utmost appreciation for the creation and upkeep of this phenomenal app. Because of you, we have discovered and continue to discover creativity, talent, and people we can call friends. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Q&A has officially finished. I hope you enjoyed watching this, as I thoroughly enjoyed answering all of your questions. It has been of great honor to interact with you guys, and for you to get to know more about me. If you have any further questions, or want to have a convo with me, we can talk in the comments.
Hey peeps, I'm back.
Annabelle, did it seriously take you that long to get the dog out of here? And why are you shirtless?
Quincy, read my lips. Don't mess with Little Mutt. Anyway, you forgot something. Plotters, Dina and Golden Cat had their birthdays recently. Let's take a little moment to remember their special day. Benny, roll the clip. It's a tad bit late, but happy birthday to Dina Golden Cat.
Oh yeah! Thanks for reminding me, Annabelle.
No problemo. What would you do without me? By the way, where's your top hat?
That is a mystery I will need to solve. Okay folks, have a good rest of the day or night. Bye, and remember,
Continue plotting.
I did not ask you to complete my outro.
Le fin.